Hola, mi amigos y familia. Here is this week's cocktail. This is called a hurricane, and I think it might be one of my favorites. So I've got here some orange juice, some grenadine, some lime juice, and most importantly, and I think this is where you get the awesome flavor, I found this frozen passion fruit concentrate. Oh, it's so good. Okay, so I'm going to start with a cocktail shaker. I'm going to put a little bit of ice in here, not that much. I'm going to give it a couple of shots of orange juice, about one juice of one orange. I'm going to give it a little ½ ounce of grenadine, ½ ounce of lemon juice. Don't want to overdo this, but you do want something to balance out the sweetness. This is a rather sweet cocktail. And I almost forgot, most important ingredients: dark rum and light rum. Give it 1 ounce of Havana Club or Bacardi, white Bacardi, or any kind of light rum, and the same amount of the dark rum. This is an Appleton Estate Reserve blend, quite nice. Yeah, nice and smooth, almost caramelly. Don't try this at home, kids. I like quite a generous amount of this because this gives it an amazing flavour. I think this is where the hurricane gets its delicious flavour from. Now ideally you would want fresh passion fruit pulp, but if that's not available, you can get the frozen stuff. It's all good. I think in the end it's still going to taste pretty good. And also ideally, of course, you'd want fresh squeezed orange juice, but I didn't buy oranges today, so that's what you get. And then you make this annoying sound. The outside of your shaker gets all frosty like that. And then you pour it over a glass of ice. Strain it. Absolutely delicious. We are leaving Panama City. We're going down to our house that we've rented in Coronado. Let's see if we get through the checkpoints. We have all of our documentation and our lawyer's advice that this is legit, so here goes. And there's the canal, folks. We're driving over the Bridge of the Americas, and here we can see the canal. The world famous Panama Canal. And the mountains and the forest. And it's so beautiful. And the giant ships that go through here. It's so exciting, an amazing feat of engineering. And here, now we're going into what they call the interior of the country. It runs east to west. We're heading west. Go west, folks, go west. Pretty obviously, Caesar and I have managed to escape the city. We ended our rental in the apartment in Panama City, and we found a house, and we've taken a long-term lease on a house here down in Coronado where there's surf. So we're quite close to the beach. It's just over there. We've got a house with a garden and a swimming pool. It's bigger than we need, but 2-bedroom houses are few and far between, it seems. So we've got 3 bedrooms, 2 of which will just be closed off and we don't need them. Don't think friends and family from New Zealand are going to be popping over in a hurry to visit us, but that's okay. Maybe some of you might manage it next year when things settle down, or maybe the year after. I expect we're going to be here for quite a long time. So last week I said that the percentage of positive cases of the number of tests they do each day here in Panama was starting to decrease. Not anymore. Yesterday it was 37% of positive test results. That's really concerning. There are a lot of people out and about. Parts of the economy have been opened, but the quarantine restrictions here in Panama remain very, very strict. So unless you have a salvoconducto because you're part of the economy that's opened, or apparently you can buy them, that seems dodgy AF, but okay. So unless you have one of those, you're stuck in quarantine, essentially, which the conditions of which I've previously outlined, and they remain the same. But there are a lot of people out and about, so I mean the virus is spreading quite quickly here in Panama. Last time I looked at the data, the number of people hospitalized was over 1,400. The number of people in ICU was, I think, just under 160. I think they have a total of 250 ICU beds in the country. I did hear that they were thinking of opening a conference centre and putting hospital beds in it to cope with the number of coronavirus cases requiring hospitalisation. And I know that the medical staff here in Panama are absolutely stretched and exhausted and crying out for help. The latest on that front is they have asked the expat community here in Panama, which is quite substantial. In normal times, if you're a doctor or a nurse, you can only practice in Panama if you are Panamanian, if you are a citizen. But at the moment, they're asking for anyone who has that training to get in contact with the health department and offer those skills and support. Wildlife. So I'm just really hoping that the healthcare system here copes. I still think regarding the pandemic, Panama's probably not peaked yet, actually. I think that hope I had the last couple of weeks that we were just turning that curve, no, I think it's just still back on the way up. So that's concerning. So we still can't surf. The beaches are closed. I mean, surfing should never be a crime. It's really sad. We've gone 5 months, going on 6 months soon with no surf or no surfing. So, I mean, that's really hard. We hope to have an answer to our visa application in another week or two. It's been surprisingly quick. I really hope they let us stay, and I just hope they open the beaches or at least make an exception for surfing, because like I said last week, there's nothing about us getting on surfboards and getting in the ocean and staying a good distance apart from each other, because you have to have distance when you're surfing. You don't want to get too close together because collisions, damage, danger. It's a naturally, socially distant sport by its very nature. I just hope that they would just make an exception for surfing. So the place that this house we've taken a lease on is in a golf club community, and the golf course is right there. I'm not going to have a rant on golf courses this week. Suffice to say, they are ecological desert. There's lots of people out golfing. I'm like, how come you guys can golf and I'm not allowed to go surfing? It's doing my head in. I just wish they'd make an exception for surfing. So Costa Rica, to the west of Panama, their border's open. I think their beaches are open. I don't think they've made surfing illegal. So, I mean, I don't know how much longer we can wait, but give it, I don't know, a few more weeks if the beach is here, or at least if they don't say, yeah, okay, surfing is okay. I think maybe we're going to have to go to Costa Rica, or I'm also looking at Barbados. Barbados is, man, they've got it sorted. They have finally figured out that for people like us, digital nomads, that if you offer people like us a year-long visa to go and stay and live in that country for a whole year, people will come and they will bring their incomes with them. So that's quite exciting. Barbados is offering that. They've got fantastic surf, stunningly beautiful beaches. So, I mean, I don't know how long the moment will be in Panama, but if we can go somewhere else and keep ourselves safe and surf, that's looking like an increasingly attractive option. But on the other hand, we've waited it out so long now in Panama. I mean, it's got to be close. They've got to be lifting this quarantine, or at least opening beaches, or at least making surfing a permitted activity soon. Okay, if they do, there are some really good surf breaks here, and I'm really looking forward to this little YouTube channel going back to what it originally was. It's a surfing channel, guys. So for all of you who have signed up over the last few weeks while I've been in quarantine here in Panama, I hope you're not going to be too disappointed when I start surfing again and the content's just surfing. I mean, I'll probably give you a little chat every week, but I mean, surfing is what I do, so that's what I'm gonna get back to as soon as possible. I'm gonna put some footage of the beautiful countryside that we drove through on our way along the Pan American Highway down to Coronado here. Oh, and we passed through 2 checkpoints. The first one, the rain was quite heavy, and I think the guys didn't want to leave their little shelter tent thing to go and check on people in the rain, but the second one we were stopped. Was your temperature taken, Caesar? No, they didn't take our temperatures, but they did check our papers, and they wanted an explanation for why we were out doing what we were doing. We had the required documentation as advised from our lawyer, and that allowed us to pass. So now here we are in Coronado, praying for beaches to be open and for us to be able to surf again. Okay, that's it for me this week. Footage of the beautiful countryside now follows. Thank you for watching, and if you're new here, I think I'm supposed to say something like, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, although, you know, if you don't, that's fine too. Okay, bye guys. That makes sense. There's a lot of billboards available around here.